Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up.
Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, which is Red's View. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/WeAuthenticNetwork, youtube.com/Lavelle Network, and also listen to the Unapologetic Podcast. Also, make sure that you stream my album Once Too. It's available on all digital streaming platforms. I have a familiar face in the building with me today. He goes by the name of what? Brand Man. Hey,
man, that's me. What's up? What's up?
Hey, man. We ain't had you on the show in a minute, but you had to pull up, you know what I'm saying,
sure,
to pop
man.
back up.
I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Shout out to DJ PM. He couldn't be here with us today, but hey, man, we got a lot to talk about, and somebody of your caliber is here with me today, so I think, you know, we're gonna have a good one.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good
I already
convo.
know it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man, we had a lot of albums that have dropped. Now, the whole year I've been complaining that we haven't had a lot of hip hop, but recently we've had album after album after album drop. Now, let's go ahead and get into it. She's my favorite artist out right now. Forget female rap, forget just rapper. It's like she's my favorite artist out right now.
That's
right now, and her name is Rapsody. Rapsody dropped her album, which is called Eve. Did you get a chance to check it out?
Yeah, man. I haven't heard every single song yet, but I heard a very good portion of it, and I love everything I heard so far.
Yeah, and like
for real.
Man, like what I do love about this album, because I heard it through front and back, and each song represents a powerful black female. Like Famous, you know, she had Afeni, she had who else did she have? Aaliyah.
Maya.
Who?
Maya.
Well, yeah, Maya.
Angelo.
Yeah, Maya. Because I'm about to say, I know she didn't have Maya the singer. But yeah, Maya Angelou, she had them. Yeah, and she had Cleo. The song Cleo went hard.
That's what I was thinking about.
Each individual song has their own conceptual type of visualization of. Yeah. And I just love how she put it all together. And her last album was dope.
Yeah,
Layla's Wisdom.
Yeah,
man,
that was dope.
Yeah.
But this one is even better than me. This is a better body. It feels like a better body of work. Like that last album was, to me, it was a level of attention and just put togetherness that made it like, oh, this is her arrival. Like she's here, y'all got to take her seriously. But this one is like a full body of work where it's like you can't deny it.
Yeah,
like,
not to say she didn't concentrate on the other one, but this one feels like she took years to actually make this.
Smaller details, like you said, naming every song like after a person, like just some of the bars on that thing, man.
Like, dude, she said, "Forget bars, y'all can have. Y'all can have the bars. I'm gonna do metal fence, some metal play, something." She said, and I tell you, she came in that first song just set it off, dog.
I'm a big first song person, bro.
Yeah,
like the intro. Yeah, that'll sway me one way or another. Like literally, Chance the Rapper project came out recently, and a lot of people are already hating on it, so I don't like to listen when people are listening, but I went ahead and tried to, and then I didn't like the intro, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna step back for a minute and hopefully come back. Her jump, bruh,
dude, she came in just swinging, and I think it came in stronger than Layla's Wisdom did. Like this one, she came in swinging, and like I said, she's not just a female rapper to me, she's an artist, she's a rapper, and I feel like she's better than a lot of dudes that are out there right now, like straight easy, no cap, like easy. But I really want to salute her. I still need some more time to digest the album. Well, I tell you, like I've heard it all the way through, and when I tell you Afeni, that song right there almost brought, well, it did bring tears to my eyes. Like it was because I heard that one. Yeah, like so you know it's Tupac's mom. Yeah, and Tupac's mom was a writer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she sampled Tupac's Keep Your Head Up. Since we all came from a woman, got our name from a woman, and came from. It's like that is playing out. When I think it was not like from the Keep Your Head Up song, but I think he was doing a rendition of it, like at some place he was speaking at, I don't know. But dude, like you listen to that, and if you really love black women, like you know your mothers, your aunts, your girl, like whatever it is, like there are queens, and man, that's just, it was a monumental song, dog. Like it's crazy.
I gotta listen to it. That's pressure, bro.
Yeah,
like, and then you love black woman, you gotta love this song.
You do. And bro, Queen Latifah, she brought back Queen Latifah.
Bro,
Queen Latifah,
a goat, dog.
she was rapping like it was 1991 with a 2019 flow. Like she took it off. I don't even think there was no hook on that song. Like Rapsody was just rapping, and Queen Latifah came in that thing and just wrecked shop. Like I was like, man,
Queen Latifah, man, she's so underrated. Just period. Not even just rap, just her contribution and her level of success. Exactly. I happened to be at her. It was like they were honoring her in Miami like 3-4 years ago, and I was there, and just hearing them talk about certain stuff and hearing people tell certain stories, and I was like, she's involved with this. She was involved. She managed these artists. She helped.
She helped Naughty by Nature. She found Naughty by Nature.
All this stuff, like, and you know, it's not like out there. She just moves, does her thing,
and then just keeps her business
going.
Go
in the movies. She do the commercial stuff on the movie. She got her TV.
She don't be a mess. Like you gotta respect her. She is crazy. One of the goats out there, man. You really gotta salute Queen Latifah. So shout out to Rapsody. I can't call it a classic yet. I'm gonna just wait, but I can tell you it's one of the best albums that have dropped this year. Not even just this year, one of the best albums I've heard in a while. So shout out to Rapsody. Now also Jeezy dropped. Yeah. Formerly Young Jeezy. Jeezy dropped. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't check it out. I don't plan on checking it out.
What?
No.
All right, wait, hold on. You got some like old Jeezy beef that you
No beef. It's just that the stuff that Jeezy rapped about. Now I appreciated him coming out and being different, standing out from everybody. And I feel like Thug Motivation 101 was a classic. Yeah. However, I'm not a fan of the whole dope boy rap. Like that stuff, like if you rapped about it as a means of survival, that's one thing. But if you glorify it, like I just could never, like I'm not a rapper, I'm a hustler or something like that. You remember the Snowman stuff? I could never get into it, but I did like some of his music. Okay. But I feel like honestly, at this point, in 2019, I'm not looking for another Jeezy album. It feels like it's nothing else. Like I heard his last one, Pressure, and it was a couple of joints out there that was good, but like me, it just don't relate to me and it don't appeal to me, and I feel like he's ran his course. I think he has a solid fan base. Yeah. But what else can Jeezy offer in 2019? I don't know. Did you hear it?
Yeah. So from everything I heard, it is more of the same. There is some evolution per se. But no, I'm not even gonna call it a heavy evolution. Yeah. But it's not going as deep into those subjects. Yeah. Where it's like, yo, I'm out here still living it heavy. Yeah. The intro again, though, I do love. It's on Trapreneur, so he does play off the Doughboy thing. Yeah. Title wise. Yeah. But at the same time, just that entrepreneur thing, and then just talking from that mentality, that always kind of just sticks with me because that's what I do. Right. But yeah, sonically, Jeezy's voice, man, it's the greatest gift, man. Like that voice alone, it was just good for me to hear it again. Yeah. I didn't even got into dissecting it. To me, it was just so reminiscent, nostalgic whenever I hear a project of his of back then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I haven't even got into dissecting it. I'm gonna wait to say it's great or not, but it's definitely not Rhapsody's project. I'll say that.
It's definitely not. Like, that. Of course it's not.
Yeah, like right now, Rhapsody does have my favorite project.
Yeah, so. Definitely. But shout out to Jeezy. Like I said, I respect Jeezy. I've never been a Jeezy fan, but I respect what he does. But honestly, when I found out that he didn't even really promote it like that, when I found out that it was coming out, I was like, oh, okay. But I'm not really interested. It's Thug Motivation 104. I'm not interested in Thug Motivation. I need reparations. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if he called it Reparations 101, I would listen to it. Anyway, shout out to Jeezy, though. Another dope boy rapper, and I call him the mafioso more so dope.
Yeah, he goes from that angle, yeah.
Rick Ross. Rick Ross dropped Port of Miami 2. It came out a couple of weeks ago. And when I tell you I was disappointed, I was disappointed.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't checked it out.
You haven't?
Yeah. But I just expected. He's been so consistent.
He has.
Where he hasn't dropped. It's not like, oh, it's way up here all the time. Yeah. But it's always a certain level where you can just vibe and it's that luxury feel.
This one, he tried it, but the audio, the mixing of it was terrible.
What's up with that?
And I'm like, for him to have those type of beats, the luxurious style, you know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like that. Like, I noticed it, and PM can attest to this. When he put out that song, which I liked, what was it, with Swizz Beatz? Big Time.
Yeah, that was a single.
Yeah, single, Big Time. I was like, okay, but then when PM said, man, the sound ain't good, and I heard it in the car, and I'm just like, oh, man, like I hear what he was talking about. And I was hoping it wasn't going to be like that for each song. whoever his engineer is, he needs to fire him because it's like that the whole album, bro.
It's been a couple projects like that, lately from big artists, and it's like, what are y'all doing?
I think that the overall, like you don't make a lot of money from music anyway, per se. And the budgets are not as big, so you probably just recording at the crib and just giving somebody just money because you already at this height anyway. So I don't know, but like Rick, this was a disappointment. Yeah. And for you to call it the Port of Miami 2, Port of Miami 1, I don't think it was a hip hop classic, but that was his way of then introducing.
It wasn't a classic?
No. Now I'll give you Teflon Don. That could be considered a classic. I'm not saying that it is. Okay. I'm just saying it could be considered one. But Port of Miami 1, no. Okay. But I feel like for you to call something part 2, that means that
you gotta come with a
and this one, I'm just like, it's nothing that really stood out. It was all the same, no growth. And I don't like Jeezy. I don't really expect to hear too much. The only thing that sets Rick Ross apart from Jeezy at this point is Rick Ross is going to give you that luxury. You'll never get tired of the luxurious, crafted beats,
cinematic.
You'll never get tired of that. But it's just when I was listening to it, I'm like, he gonna talk about drugs, all that. Like, I'm not interested. Yeah. When I was younger, maybe, but I'm a grown man now. So, if you want to listen to it, I don't suggest you do because you really waste time. But, yeah, man, I'm disappointed. Thumbs down on this one, Rick Ross. Port of Miami 2. Y'all check it out. Let me know how you feel about it. It's more of the same to me. Now, let's talk about somebody that's real creative. He's a legend in the game. He's been out for at least maybe 30. Yeah, I know 30 years. I think he came out before I was born. Raphael Saadiq.
Oh, man.
Raphael Saadiq from the legendary group Tony. He put out his project called Jimmy Lee. And when I tell you this is a phenomenal project.
Really?
Yes. Are you a Tony fan?
Hell no.
Really? That is amazing. I don't even know how you made it on this couch. Do you know who Tony is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I would be lying if I did because I'm too young for that shit.
It really?
Like, I'm too young to say I'm a fan. But I do appreciate their music.
Do you know?
I just feel like fan is a strong word and people fake that a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe my hell no came off strong.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like, dude.
I don't know where that came from.
That was a little,
I'm usually extreme when I say shit, but really.
Tony.
But nah, I respect them as a group, love them as a group, love Raphael Saadiq. Yeah. But nah, I'm not a fan. Because I couldn't even, like, if you said, name some Tony songs, I couldn't even do it. I know there's 2 really big ones that I love.
Which is what?
See?
That's why you said hell no. Okay.
But when I hear them, I'm with it.
Well, let me tell you something. You slipping. Like, Tony is
my parents slipping. I was born in 91.
You were born, but I was born in 88, so, it's really not too much of a difference.
It make a difference, bro.
You think so?
I think so.
That's amazing. But anyway, Raphael Saadiq, what I love about this album, he called it Jimmy Lee, and the reason he called it Jimmy Lee is because his brother was a heroin addict,
right.
And he ended up dying, and the whole album talks about it. And you feel so much struggle and pain. If you're trying to listen to this album thinking it's going to be like a Tony album, it's not that. It's a conceptual album. And from top to bottom, like, dude, like, it's incredible. I think it's like 13, 14 songs. He even got Kendrick Lamar on there. He didn't spit a verse, but he got a hook on there. Mm-hmm. And from top to bottom, this is a dope project. Now, I'm not one to call stuff classic right when I hear it because it's, you can't do classic instantly. You know what I'm saying? But this one right here, I'm going to buy the vinyl record. Like, really? That's how important and, deep this project is.
I remember him talking about, like, I saw some interviews him talking. That man's story is.
Oh yeah. Whew, oh yeah. It's real. It's real, man. And like, it's authentic. It's organic. It takes you to church. It takes you to R&B. It takes you to soul, like neo soul. Like, it's everywhere, man. Like, it's gospel. It's crazy, man. Like, I really enjoyed this album. All right. So, shout out to Raphael Saadiq, legend.
Shout out, Raphael.
So, Young Thug dropped that album. Now, I'm not a Young Thug fan. I don't even know what it was called. I just saw it and figured I'd bring it up on ResView. Did you listen to it?
Yeah, man. So much fun.
That's what it's called?
Yes, sir.
And that's
what it's called.
Is it the one with, it's green, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. On this project, man, Young Thug is really coming out and he's being more transparent than he's been before. Okay. Which is interesting. Like, even small lines where he talks about he had a dress on because he had a strap up under it. Right?
He said that?
Basically. He plays on stuff like that.
Okay. But that's smart, though.
But if you watch his interviews and him talking about it, too, it's like it touches on just the insight on him. He doesn't do a lot of interviews, so it'll be things like he doesn't want his son to wear.
He has a son.
Yeah, to wear dresses or whatever. And even when he was wearing dresses, he didn't even know what they were at first. He said, because he would just be seeing something that he liked. Oh, this cheetah. And then somebody else would tell him he got a dress on. He'd be like, what?
So he wasn't able to tell the difference between male and female clothes.
For certain stuff, yeah.
And he's from the hood?
And then after a while, I guess he would play it up a little bit. But like on just for some, attention type stuff, probably. Okay. But like at first, he didn't even realize that he was just, he just a little different or whatever. Yeah. But he also is very like thorough, and he wasn't nobody to mess with. So people where he's from, they weren't really looking at him one way, but the world looks at him a whole nother way. And it was just interesting. He's different now. He's not that. He's evolved. That's what I can appreciate about him. Okay. Like now he goes by Jeffrey. I'm not Young Thug.
That's like what he says. Did he change his name to that?
No, his original name is Jeffrey.
Oh, well, yeah, I know that. And he named his album Jeffrey. One of his albums.
That one. That was a good. He had like "Kill Before" is my song, but that's besides the point.
And that's the one when he wore the dress and looked like Raiden / a stripper.
See, and they were even in the interview, they were talking about he had a dress on that cover, and he was like, "I am that was no dress." Like, he was literally genuinely arguing like, "This ain't no dress." And he was like, "I'm gonna give y'all a picture."
I'm real interested to see this interview. So he's really talking about it because this is the first time he's ever talked about it. Yeah. Okay, I gotta really.
And it wasn't even like flex and seem like he was like, "Nah, bro, like I'm gonna show y'all. It's really a coat or something. Some random stuff, whatever." Okay. But the project, what I can say is, it came off way better than I would have expected. Because J. Cole executive produced the whole project.
That's what I did hear about. Yeah.
So. I didn't know where to go with that. I trusted that it could be good, but at the same time, it's like I don't know where it'll go. Nah, it was good. It's a good project. Okay, yeah, it's a good project.
Is he doing a lot of mumble rap?
No, he actually even talks. He talks clear on this project. Oh, okay,
all right.
He'll play with the melody and all that stuff. Yeah, but he talks clear.
So I'm gonna have to check it out since you said
it's worth checking out.
Yeah, if you're explaining this to me, okay, I'll give it one play. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give that one play for you 90s babies, Y'all trip me out. So he really basically explained why he wore a dress. So I'll listen. I'll give it a listen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting.
But anyway, shout out to Young Thug. So that covers some of the albums that have dropped. It feels like it's something else they did. Am I missing something, Sean? It feels like something else did.
If you haven't listened to Little Brother, we shouldn't mention it.
Little Brother. They dropped their project I think last week or something like that. But I've heard that was a phenomenal project too. I need to listen to it. Yeah. Little Brother, you know who that is? Amazing.
Sounds familiar.
They're from North Carolina, and they made a dope album, The Minstrel Show. Wasn't that what it was called?
Yeah.
That came out at least maybe almost 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And but their production is dope. I'm trying to think of like a known song that they have, but I don't know. But Lil Brother, I'll check.
Wonder was initially in the group.
Yeah, the producer Ninth Wonder was a part of Lil Brother.
Okay, that's why I heard him.
Yeah, and Ninth Wonder is one of the best producers in the hip hop period.
Yeah. Fonte is the second most critically acclaimed rapper next to Andre 3000.
Really?
So in most circles, yeah. And he a part of Lil Brother.
Yeah, I really got to check it out. But shout out to Lil Brother, man.
Check that out.
And Red Heads. If it's anybody we're missing, get on my ass, and I'll make sure that I review them the next time. So let's talk about some other important stuff that's going on. This is what I really wanted the episode to be about.
All right.
So it's a lot of coonery going on, I feel like, with this Popeyes chicken sandwich. Lord have mercy. Popeyes chicken. For those who have been living under a rock, Popeyes, the famous chicken chain restaurant, retweeted Chick-fil-A. Now, keep in mind, Popeye's chicken sandwich came out like months ago. It came out months ago. I tried it before. It was cool, but it wasn't nothing to ooh and ah about. Some people back at that time were oohing and ahhing about it, but it was okay. It wasn't until I think that Trump People found out that Chick-fil-A was supporting Trump or something like that.
Oh,
which isn't surprising, yeah. And then
they had the whole homophobia thing. Come on, I mean, it's from the.
That happened, that leaked, and then all of a sudden, Popeyes retweets Chick-fil-A about their chicken sandwich, and they say y'all good. Now, the fact that they say y'all good, that made me know that either somebody was pretending to be black, handling their Twitter handle.
All of them pretend to be black, man.
Yeah. Or somebody actually, they were like, look, Devontae, you going to get this and, you know what I'm saying, you're going to take over our Twitter handle. So I already kind of knew what it was.
Yeah.
Even Wendy's response to that was, I don't know why y'all fools are dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, they were talking like in slang. So after they retweeted that, it went on a frenzy and it became a big coon fest, a plantation extravaganza. A plantation, so like, this is crazy. You're seeing black people left and right. Now I understand if stuff is funny. You get what I'm saying? But chicken, for one, is a stereotype of black people.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we just had mass shootings that just happened. We got this election going on. We're trying to get reparations. It's so much stuff that's going on right now to where we're all going crazy over a damn chicken sandwich from Popeyes.
Wait, why can't we do both?
Why can't we do what? Tell me what's the reason we're going crazy over a chicken sandwich that came out not years ago, but months ago. It's really not all that.
That's what hype and marketing does, man.
You
know what I do in music, and so many people create fake beefs, right, for artists just to give them more attention.
Of course,
the way it works. This is the same thing.
And I was about to say that too.
If it wasn't for that, like, because our dude was like, man, I had it months ago, and my sister, people were taking it to work. They were eating it like this is beforehand.
Yeah.
And the guy who had it before, he's like, I remember thinking it was a good sandwich, but now he wanted to try it again.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't thinking it in the framework, is it better than Chick-fil-A or not? He was just eating it. So now once you pose that question, it's like you taking clout. It's 50 Cent shooting at Ja Rule.
But let me ask you this. If this was a burger, right? If we have a McDonald's burger and a Burger King burger, and will we be having the same conversation right now? Or not, let's take McDonald's and Burger King up out of it. I think the fact that it was chicken is the reason why black folks are going crazy over it.
Not because it was chicken.
You name me any other food that would create a frenzy like this. Like, oh my God, y'all got to try this.
It wasn't just black folks, though. My homeboy is in Utah, Salt Lake City right now.
Right, of course.
There's a small amount of us there.
Yes,
and and they're sold out there as well. It's because Chick-fil-A is a known standard.
So you're sitting right here and tell me this isn't.
Oh no, it's a lot of Negroes.
Okay,
do it.
All right.
I ain't saying that. No. There's definitely some of what you said going. A lot of what you said.
Yes.
I'm not saying.
Let me ask you this, because if it's not a lot of what I'm saying going on, how come I'm seeing black people only creating videos, like going back and forth? I don't see white people doing that.
Well, that's a whole internet. That's an internet question, man. Because you only see your own. You don't really get to see other sides of the internet.
You see, if something's funny, people are gonna retweet it and share it. And white people, let me tell you something. White people create videos. I'm not saying they don't, but with this chicken thing, I'm seeing Negroes going left and right, giving free advertising, free promotion, spending time. And I mean, we do this. I'm not saying we don't only do this for chicken, but I feel like it's embarrassing for us as a people, because we already have that stereotype. And my thing is, it's just a chicken sandwich.
We gotta own it, bro. Then it won't be embarrassing. We gotta own the chicken.
We do, yeah.
Because everybody else in their races, they have things that they own, but we let people make us feel bad about our shit. I feel like we just gotta own it, and this is who we are. And then we gotta actually own for stuff for real, like the actual companies. That's the biggest problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, even though Hank Aaron owns like all this Popeyes,
he doesn't own Popeyes. He owns. Right? He's a franchise.
It's still a franchise, which is what happens in so many of our businesses. We have a branch of the core, but we're not the core. So, like Black Panther, okay, we're faces, but we're not that. That's my biggest problem. But we know we can hype something up. We love juice. We love to get stuff popping. We love talking shit, but that's what we do. Well.
But I got to give a shout out to Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. Why? Because I feel like they came together and was like, how can we increase sales? Even if it wasn't Chick-fil-A, I feel like Popeyes came together and was like, we could use Black Twitter to get more sales. We gave them $23 million over the last week alone. And Lord knows how much we're about to give them more.
I ain't gonna lie.
See, I knew it.
I was one of them.
You wasn't bucking your eyes, were you, when you were eating them? I hope not.
Nah, hey, I tried it and it was, it was cool. It was good.
It was okay.
But I don't, see, me though, I'm not even a big Popeyes fan. So like to me, the chicken sandwich was better than the actual chicken because their chicken is inconsistent. And I don't think they're gonna be consistent with the chicken sandwich either.
They don't. Yeah.
Like that's not what they do.
This is the first time I've seen like lines wrapped around. The only time you usually see this with Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is always like that. Lines wrapped around.
But this is super wild.
Like Popeyes has lines wrapped around.
Crazy.
And I wouldn't be embarrassed about this, but Mobile, right next to Mobile, you have Daphne. And I want to say they said Daphne, Alabama is the highest selling in chicken sandwiches or something like that from Popeyes. I want to say that. Don't quote me on that. But
small town got the highest.
I was just crazy. Like, come on, bro. But it's so embarrassing.
Bro, I was at a Popeyes. This is just getting some regular meal for somebody else, and this lady was in front of me, old black lady, and she was like, "Yeah, I was at the other Popeyes, but the line was so long, so I had to come to this one."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I'm like, man, does everybody have this coupon?" And it was like a $5 box coupon or something. I'm like, nah, I'm sorry, Grandma. Nah, it's this chicken sandwich thing going on. Like, Grandma, you out the loop.
You out the loop. She don't know what's going on. She ain't on social media. But when I tell you this, I feel like if it was something else, then I would be like, why can't we have fun, whatever like that. But I'm like, y'all, come on, man. Don't let them use us in order to just get. Now I understand. Social media is prevalent. Social media, like we know this from being marketers ourselves. Like we know how to use it, but it shouldn't be that simple for us to just be like, we're gonna go out our way and make these videos.
Oh, but it is.
It shouldn't be though. So I'm just like, it's so embarrassing, and I feel like I don't know, man. It'll die down though.
Of course,
because ain't nobody finna keep going to Popeyes like that. Like Popeyes, that's my favorite chicken if I have to choose. And I don't even eat fast food like that as much as I used to. But if I did have to choose a chicken chain, it would be Popeyes. But Chick-fil-A isn't a comparison to them because they only sell chicken products.
Yeah.
Like, well, like chicken sandwiches.
I don't even consider like Chick-fil-A's fried chicken. Like if I want fried chicken, I don't think.
You don't think about Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is its own category, got its own special taste.
Yeah. And it was funny at first, but when I just saw the black Twitter community just take off with it and give all that free promotion, I was like, oh. And when I saw that we gave them $23 million, I was like, dog.
Yeah, people don't realize what they're doing, but that's how the internet is built though, because once something pops, all right, now people got to talk about it. Now the influencers, they want to jump on the trend so they get the views related to it.
And the comedians want to jump and be like, oh man, and then it just becomes real big. I just didn't. That was like one of the biggest things that have happened this year. I think that overcrowded the mass shootings that just happened a couple of weeks ago. Think about it. Like everybody, some people were talking about it. With these mass shootings that happen, like we'll talk about it, be upset, but we don't go out of our way to make a lot of videos talking about it. We'll talk about it a little bit on statuses, but Negroes was making a whole video, skits, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I understood the comedians got to do it to, be able to stay relevant, but I don't know. I just didn't like it. I really don't like it. But anyway, now let's talk about something else that's real big that has been going on for the past 2 weeks.
Right. Okay.
Jay-Z, the legendary Jay-Z, Hove, the GOAT, made a deal with the NFL.
Oh, he's shaking his head.
He made a deal with the NFL, the same NFL that he was rebelling against last year, saying, I don't need you, you need me, forget the Super Bowl. I'm bigger than the Super Bowl. He was, quote unquote, telling Travis Scott he shouldn't perform in the Super Bowl, telling Jermaine Dupri, quote unquote, that you shouldn't accept any deals from the Super Bowl, from the NFL, all that stuff. And Jay-Z decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this entertainment position. It's a role for him to be over the entertainment of the NFL or something like that from their events. And in exchange, they're going to work on a campaign. I don't even know what it's called. It's like it's not even social injustice, is it?
It's borderline on that, but it's not named that per se.
Right. It's multifaceted from what I see. So one, I feel like you're gonna be anti Jay-Z in this conversation a little bit.
Not necessarily. Well, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit. Okay. So I'm just gonna take the stance. For Jay-Z, just to come from both sides. Okay. Right? Because of course there are some. I'll say me personally, when I first saw this, honestly didn't feel nothing. I just saw it. And I was like, oh, Jay-Z's doing another Jay-Z deal. Mm-hmm. Then when I saw people's backlash, I was like, oh, okay, I see how people are coming from this perspective, whoop-de-whoop. But I never really look at like any celebrity to save me in the first place.
There you go.
Right.
That's
so,
right. Mm-hmm.
But like, if we want to get into my perspective, and let's just go on the things that I heard. Mm-hmm. One, this was maybe about August 26th, or no. That's the day. No, this will be like August 23rd. I'm scrolling on YouTube and then I see pop up the full conference, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh snap, they just dropped this or whatever. Then I open it up. Now I was like, hold up, this didn't just drop. This was the day that I found out about it, on the 16th. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, I'm hearing all these people talk about the conversation, and they're saying all these things, but no one's talking about the full thing is actually out already. Mm-hmm. So we're pulling from it. It was only like 80,000 views after a week. You already know the actual clip and all people talking about it is like in the millions, like maybe even over 100 million impressions. Right. Mm-hmm. The main clip that's circulating, when I watched the whole interview, is them splicing together like maybe like 40 seconds maybe.
Of what he was saying.
And it was like 1 minute into the conference, 30 minutes into the conference, 45 minutes into the conference. And they spliced that together.
Yeah.
So it like, first of all, the stuff is out of context. And just the internet can run with that quickly, just like with the Popeyes thing. Like that part, I always hate when stuff gets taken out of context. So one, like, all right, I feel like Jay-Z forward progress is a necessity.
3, 2.
Forward progress is a necessity. I'm gonna just start there. Which way to go about it or not? I know we're gonna talk about Cap 2. It like is a whole nother thing, right? So I'll get to that side of things when we get to Cap. But even if you look at strategically, right? When I heard people's perspective, I thought, well, Jay-Z doing this. Jay-Z is an ex-drug dealer. And you don't come from where he came from to where he is, especially through an equally grimy industry, music, without being highly intelligent. He's a strategist. He just has to be. Yes. Right? So I know he assumed, he knew there was going to be some backlash. Drug dealer, he knows all money ain't good money. So he knew, even if this is for selfish and greed, right? He knows the impact that potentially it could have on his brand. A lot of his brand, granted, he has a lot of other money coming from other places at this point because he's a billionaire, I'm sure. But a lot of his brand is the leverage of black culture.
There you
go.
So
he can't afford to sacrifice that. So my thought is he has to at least see and think there's something else he can get to. Whether he fails or not, like, and you know, he could, even if he fails, even if he did have some honest intent, ain't nobody gonna be having that because it's just, look, it was a fail, and they just gonna say what they say. They gonna just justify negative or positive, whatever they felt about him. But I think there has to be at least more to it that he sees. Whatever that is, I don't know. I'll stop right there, and I want to hear what you guys say.
So my whole thing is, I initially thought that, and some part of me still thinks that.
Yeah.
Now, a big part of me is like, he's a capitalist. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
I respect his grind, and I wasn't on no let's cancel Jay-Z type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was just like, okay, obviously this could be selfish. My whole gripe was, if Jay-Z didn't do what he was doing recently, like going against the NFL or being vocal about not working with the NFL, being on this whole I'm with Cap thing, I wouldn't be saying nothing. I'd be like, you know what? Okay. Like he's doing it now. Of us as black people, we're supposed to be sticking together with this thing. But hey, if he hadn't have said nothing, and you know, justifying pretty much what Cap was about, I wouldn't be saying anything. But the fact that he was saying everything that I said earlier, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't need you, you need me, all this type of stuff, and then for you to turn around and do this deal.
But that's consistent to me.
That I don't think so.
I don't need you, you need me, and then they came to him.
They came to him, but what does that, like, it makes it look like, okay, they may need him, but what, from what you were talking about, and for black people, I thought that you would be on some, let me just start my own thing. Now, my thing is, I know that, because people be like, man, if it's black owned, I'm not saying that I'm trying to make another Negro league. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying start your own entity.
We already got one.
Yeah,
called the NFL.
Anyway, I'm talking about, okay, Vince McMahon. You know who that is, right?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, so if you want to start your own entity, it doesn't have to be just black players. Like if Diddy, Jay-Z, Oprah, Ice Cube, all these people came together and said we want to start our own NFL, they could actually do that. Now, I'm not saying that it will be as successful as the NFL, whatever like that, but it's a possibility. And I'm not saying that only black people can attend it. And I'm not saying that because somebody was like, black people ain't going to fill up stadiums, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not talking about just black people. I'm talking about white people, Asians, whoever that wants to come to it, they can come to it if they want to. But my whole thing, just to not go into that, but I just feel like, I feel what you're saying. It could be something that he sees because he knew it was going to be some backlash. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's smart. Jay-Z is a very smart, strategic person. Now, a lot of people are just like, maybe he's getting it on the inside. First of all, he ain't finna. White folks are like, those owners are not going to let him get in on the inside. Because as soon as we found out about the deal and he got that backlash, somebody made up a rumor that he was supposed to be part owner, co-owner of a team. And they're not going to let you get that close.
Well, for one, it's illegal, right? Because he owns a sports agency, you can't do both.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like you just can't. Mm-hmm. So he would have to sell like Rock Nation Sports and all that stuff just to do that. Mm-hmm. But two, he's already working, like, so the way he talked about it in the interview in the conference, like him and Robert Kraft have been working together closely. You know who that is, right? The owner of the Patriots. Yeah. Because of the whole Meek Mill stuff.
Yeah, right.
And really Robert Kraft was kind of the middleman, like, yo, and kind of, met the minds together around that. So it started from that, and it was more organic. It wasn't like he sought them out or just like that's what it seems like, right? At least that's the picture he's painting.
Right.
So, like, that's understandable. My thing is, why do we have to feel like whenever we work with them, they're using us and we're not using them? Like, I feel like we always have to put ourselves from the perspective of we're being used, we're beneath, and we're not smart enough to play the game. Like, everybody's solution is to go over here and do something when it's not going to change the game. Okay, we can have a Black Wall Street, but what happens to Black Wall Street? So we have to play the game and do it over time.
I can feel that.
That's the way I see it. And some of the stuff is going to be the stuff that you don't like, just like some of the white people or whatever. Like, they're doing some things like none of those people are perfect. Like billionaires, especially on that level, you're not going to be perfect. But you can't talk capitalism in some other language. Like, they don't care about breast cancer awareness. They make money from that. Why do they have a deal with the military? Mm-hmm. Like, when I found out, they have a deal with the military, like that's different. Right. So now it's like, y'all are messing up our deal and doing all this stuff.
But the thing is, when we talk about Jay-Z being on the inside and having some type of like messing up the infrastructure, I just don't feel like that. And I feel like it's
a long-term game. It's no way it might not even be Jay-Z.
Yeah, it might not be him. But my thing is, everybody's talking about he has a seat at the table. What table does he have a seat at?
He doesn't have a seat at the table.
Okay, yes. I just want to clarify.
You have to be an owner to have a seat at certain tables.
Exactly. I just wanted that to be out there. Like, it's no seat at the table. Because that's what Killer Mike said.
Right.
He got a seat at the table.
I think he has more of a voice. So proverbially, that is a seat at the table, just have a voice. And I think he does have that. And the way he moves, I can't see him being used. And even consistently before this social justice stuff, he had been saying stuff like, I'm going to overcharge, them folks for what they did to the culture. All that stuff has been there, right? And I don't know, man. As far as the whole seat, the seat at the table and the way that looks to me, I think, for one, I prefer that route versus going out here because we're patching together solving these issues instead of just changing the system.
But let's not try to codify it and say that, okay, like I would have rathered him just be like, I got this deal to be over entertainment versus that the campaign for whatever
But that's literally what it's for. All right, so one big thing that he said in the conference that I completely agree with, just as a marketer and media, and he was just talking about the ability to control our narrative, control the narrative of whatever the issues are. Because it's not even just like he said, it was just like black players issues. There's many forms of social justice, and some white players might have some initiatives they will be supporting all that as well. And that was one of the biggest things that happened in this cap thing, right? It's not police brutality. It's talking y'all are going against the military. Like the ability for somebody to twist the narrative, that narratives change people's behavior. It's not like a hard thing. It's the subconscious thing that changes everything and drives everything. Mm-hmm. And as a marketer, sometimes it just gets weird to see how sad people can be and how they react. Just like how you felt about the Popeyes, and you just like, man, this is really happening.
Yeah, definitely.
Like we all really like. I felt the same way a little bit about this Jay-Z thing. And then Jay-Z even said in the conference he didn't tell Travis not to perform because of the whole Cap thing. He told him not to perform because he thought he had a hell of a year and he shouldn't be playing second fiddle to anybody. And if you look at Travis Scott had a crazy year.
Oh yeah, he did.
When is the last time Maroon 5 had a year that was like anywhere near that? And then, oh my God, if you saw the Super Bowl performance, bro.
Yeah.
If you saw Travis might have got like 2-3 Big Boy and them had more words than him. I was like, yo,
it wasn't that.
I was like, yo, bro, like you should have listened to Jay.
I think like the most important thing that we just have to realize is, okay, we're talking about the social. I feel like it's a lot of it is codified, and I feel like I respect you getting your bag at the end of the day, but I feel like riding off of, because one thing I did appreciate about what Jay-Z was saying, he was like, okay, we know what the problem was. We know why Cap was kneeling or whatever like that. It's what do we do from here? I'm about action. I can show you what I've done. I bail people out of jail. I've done X, Y, and Z, which is dope. And like I said, I'm not canceling Jay-Z or anything like that. I'm just saying that from what he was coming from initially, I'm not 100% behind this particular deal. But I am on the fence of it, talking about like, yeah, I got to see how this pans out. Like what exactly is it? Because I know Jay-Z is smarter than this, but I just don't feel like my argument was people was just talking about the whole seat at the table thing. I'm just like, he is being used, but also if you're talking about like, you made a lot of sense. How come we always have to be the ones being used? How come we can't play the game? Yeah. And like it or not,
in music especially, you gotta know how to be used.
Exactly.
You gotta let yourself to be used. Everybody using.
And you have to be able to play the game of white supremacy in order to overcome it. Like how you win wars, you learn how your enemy acts. You know what I'm saying? You learn what type of functions they do, what type of brain structures they have in order to master the game, because it's a game.
That's what my dad used to always say, because he came up in Newark, New Jersey.
You gotta,
like you gotta be a con artist not to get conned.
You gotta be, you gotta learn to be a wolf. If wolves keep damn near about to kill you all the time, what are you gonna do? You could either try to be your own, or if that don't, because we've tried, like you said, we tried to have Black Wall Street. We tried to have our own stuff, but they still will tear it down or find a way to sabotage it. Mm-hmm. We tried to have our own distribution company. What happened with Suge Knight? You know what I'm saying? What happened with Jay Prince? We've tried that, but it is a way that you go in and move. I'm not 100% sure about this whole Jay-Z thing. And as far as the Kaepernick thing, it's stuff that I've learned about Kaepernick and the reason why he actually kneeled and all that stuff. All I know is the NFL is racist. All organizations
are they racist?
Yes.
Let me see. I gotta think about that.
How is the NFL not racist?
Because
of what?
There's a fine line where sometimes it's not about, especially when you're dealing with certain class of people, it's not about race. It's just about people being beneath them, period. And they have a certain, where their actions won't be in line with you, period, unless it gives them money. They're about the money, and that just might have some of it is.
But they're losing
creates racist action.
But they're losing,
which is why now all of a sudden they're like, "Yo, let us serve these black people."
They're trying. It's not serving. That's not serving black people.
That's what it looks like to them, right? Like they're opportunists at the end of the day. Black people have historically been put down by a system, system that is fueled by racism. Mm-hmm. Let's just say if it was flipped, those people who think that way, they'll be looking at the white people that way. To them, black people don't serve, minorities don't serve the one thing they care about, which is the money. So of course there's plenty of racism and plenty of a lot of funk of it, but I think those core people, those main people controlling, it's like I said, it comes down to the money. They don't care about white people if they're not giving them no money.
Well, no, I feel like white supremacists will go against other white people. But let me give you an example of white people thinking about money. Vince McMahon, when Hulk Hogan came out and had a leaked tape of him saying nigger, like Vince McMahon wiped him out of WWE history for like at least 5 years. He eventually brought him back. That's when you're thinking about money. And I feel like Vince McMahon could be racist too, but he's thinking, hey, I have a lot of black viewers. The Rock is black. You know what I'm saying? We had that little argument or whatever, with a debate about that. But the NBA, we have nothing but black players here. Donald Sterling, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? Real quick. The NFL still hasn't gave any issues of apology addressing anything that Kaepernick has done, and they blackballed him single-handedly and was just like, you know what? Forget it. This Jay-Z move is nothing more than a ploy just to try to get black viewers back. But that's not surrendering to black people, because if they really wanted to quote-unquote surrender or go to our knees.
They're not going to surrender. Yeah. I'm talking about you're our customer. So at the end of the day, we would just want to make you comfortable to buy the product. We don't need you to comfortable with us. We don't want you to eat with us.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And obviously the NFL is the most symbolic out of all sports.
American wise.
They're the most parallel with like racism and plantation.
Yeah.
Like athletes are faceless because they got the mask on. Mm-hmm. The combine, when you really just look at it like that, it's just wild to think about it that way. Like it's definitely there. It's permeated throughout the NFL in its own way for sure.
And I definitely just the fact is I feel like not only is the NFL racist, but I think the NBA, of course it is. I mean, we went behind closed doors and heard what Donald Sterling really thinks about black people. All you got to do is pull them to the side, get one of these women to go and get them drunk and just start talking. Not even that. Like, you just get them talking. And we know this. That's why the thing is, we know that we're living in a system of white supremacy. You're going to stick your hand in that beast, and hopefully you can get what you can and come out with your arm not cut off.
Yeah.
Or bit off, rather.
I think, man, humans are humans, bruh. And a lot of people have a lot of messed up traits. Racism is the one that just gets projected the most because it's allowed the most based on the system. Homophobia and all them other things, like so many other things, like a lot of the Me Too stuff, like we have these media campaigns that kind of start to push that stuff. So it's not as easy to just come out and stay and have that behavior, but the system has definitely made it super easy still to be racist. And yeah, it just is. One thing though, I think we gotta acknowledge that I feel like a lot of black people don't really know or realize on our side of things is that a lot of these white people, they're looking at the NFL the same way. Like, y'all are sellouts, or that really did divide where both sides were completely unhappy with the NFL, which is a weird position. So it's not even like, we're just like, y'all are trying to please white people, and white people are like, y'all are trying to please black people. They look at the Jay-Z deal like, some more sellout stuff from the NFL, and they're just giving up the power to the black people. So it's like, the NFL's in a real interesting position. They really don't know what the hell to do.
They know collectively. They've been on the decline. I think they were actually on decline before the Kaepernick stuff. But it's just the fact that the Kaepernick stuff happened, and that gave people the opportunity, like Vince McMahon, to say, you know what? XFL was a fail back then. But I see, in hindsight, that the NFL is not going to be where they used to be.
Nah. It's not. It's still the most profitable league right now, I believe, or the highest net worth league.
But every year, it's like they keep declining. That Super Bowl was so ridiculous, and it was here, but it was people in Atlanta that wouldn't even stun that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not interesting. A lot of people weren't interested in, with the different rules. It don't feel the same.
Yeah.
And
especially once you take the gladiator out of it. Yeah. It's like, bro, this is what it was.
Yeah.
Y'all want to make this thing flag football.
And then it's like black folk. And then I think it made it easier. If you already weren't feeling the NFL, then you feel like they didn't care about black people too with the Kaepernick. It's deuces. We good on that. Yep. So, but I can't call Jay-Z a sellout. Because people could feel like Colin Kaepernick would be considered a sellout for taking his settlement money, even though that was pretty much what he was offered initially anyway. All he did was a peaceful protest. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like I can't look at Jay-Z in a negative light because he's done stuff for us. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I can't look at Colin Kaepernick in a negative light because I was like, okay, he's taking that money from him. He still wants to play. A lot of people sleep on the fact that Colin Kaepernick wanted to play in the NFL.
Exactly.
It's just that
still been trying. He just posted a video 3 years, 5 a.m. every morning.
That was his dream. It's just that he led a peaceful protest, and they shitted on him, threw him out to the wolves.
He did not have people say he sacrificed his job. Now, that is what happened, but I don't think he had the intent of doing it. He even asked the military dude, whichever the one who he was, he asked him what's the best way to do it. Mm-hmm. So he's been treated unfairly. I don't think he tried to do this, but he's been treated unfairly because of it, and it just spiraled out of control.
Yeah, because really it shouldn't have got to this point.
It shouldn't have.
It's all he did was kneel, and the media made this a big deal, just like the whole Tupac and Biggie beef. They made it. Like the media really is the reason why Tupac and Biggie ended up dying, getting murdered. Because anytime you blow something up, of course you already know, like it makes it 100 times worse. So I feel like all Kaepernick did, if you would have asked him back then, does he expect to be a leader, a political leader, or recognized as a political figure, a historical black figure like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, with Malcolm X, he would have been like, no. You know what I'm saying?
He's not even doing it now.
No, he's real.
He
don't even really speak out about stuff. He's really chill. It's just that he stood for what he believed in, and everybody ended up supporting him. That's my frat brother, by the way. Shout out to him. And
Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You already know how the news do.
It's a little hot in the waters right now.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man. Are we gonna really get it? Are you talking about Marcellus at all?
Am I talking about? Oh yeah, Marcellus.
Let's talk from that end.
All right, so let me say something about Marcellus. First of all, we live in America. And what Marcellus, what's his last name? Wiley said about Kaepernick, he was saying that, first of all, Colin Kaepernick and the Jay-Z aren't comparative because Colin Kaepernick he's mixed. And he was raised by a white family in, what was it? Is it Missouri? Wisconsin, something like that in California. So he feels like his experience isn't as authentic as a Jay-Z's because Jay-Z grew up in Marcy Projects or whatever like that. Let me tell you this. No matter if you're black and you grew up in a white neighborhood, you could be mixed with anything. You will always be in the system of white supremacy, a nigga. No matter what.
This we know, generally speaking, but there's truth to what he said.
No. Let me finish this because I understood what he was getting at, but in this system, if a Colin Kaepernick has more balls than a dude from the hood who actually came up through the struggle, I'm not finna go against that. That was the most gangster shit that he did, was take a knee. And you got dudes hardcore dudes in the NFL that wouldn't do that to save their lives.
I mean, they ain't hardcore, but look, I would look at it negatively if Marcellus had not been really, kind of like he said, giving him a pat. He was supporting him. You know, he wasn't talking wild against him. The other dude on the show talked wild against him.
He's a cool though.
Right, you know, and he wasn't going that direction for a long time. So he was really giving him a pass. And he even said multiple times, he said, that doesn't discredit, that doesn't mean you can't speak up for us. But my perspective definitely took that differently than a lot of people, because literally 3 days before, I got a homegirl, a dark-skinned girl that got adopted by some white folks. Right?
Uh-oh.
And it was some weird. She was telling me about some stuff. She was like, you know, there's a whole farm of this kind of thing. They were white folks adopted 5 black kids or something like that.
I've been hearing about that. So, we've been watching stuff about that.
But she was saying that she understands, for one, especially with ones with the money, you grow up that certain way, and you don't connect the same, and you're kind of having this identity, like you're searching, and then when you find certain stuff that's going on with black people, and it's like, oh man, these are my people, and you've been searching for identity, all you want to do is help. Like, it's just coming from a different place, and you don't have the same experience. And now what I could say is, from Cap's standpoint especially, let's just take away the fact that, you know, Wisconsin and California, I don't know much about Wisconsin, but California is a little bit lighter on the race thing. In some places, at sometimes, not everywhere, right? But he's a NFL athlete. Athletes get treated differently.
Yeah.
A lot of athletes get treated differently, right? Alone.
You mean like in a good way?
Yes. They get dismissed, and that's why a lot of them have certain troubles that they've had. Like, they are babied, essentially. Like, through school, they don't have the same responsibilities. Oh, y'all don't have to get the grades, blah, blah. Okay. Athletes are kind of in their own bubble of world. They don't live in the same reality. Okay. And a lot of stuff that white people or whoever might not take from a general person, they're gonna take from this athlete because we protect him. He is our money, just like true the NFL players. Okay, so they even live in their own bubble by themselves. Yeah. You had those other things where not only was he growing up in those certain places, but then being adopted, you just don't have the same understanding because those white people weren't teaching him the same stuff that we teach him, and you have certain people who. I've heard black people that that don't even think racism exists or they don't understand it. You know what I mean? It's a whole different level of psyche, and I think that's where it comes back down to the words that Marcella said, which is the identity. But not the identity of because he's black or white or whatever. Right. The identity of his identity always being in question as an adopted, but that's just natural, right? So then you come into this leadership role and how to handle it. He doesn't. That's why you have somebody like Jay-Z or whoever. Somebody needs to do it regardless. We can't lose this opportunity because it really already should have been taken care of, and we can't just be voiceless.
If it wasn't for Colin Kaepernick, we wouldn't even be having the conversation.
That's a necessary part of it. But everybody who takes the ball to the 10-yard line is not necessarily one who can make a touchdown. Right. It's always different people's. What companies have different levels. It's always different.
But that shouldn't even have been. I feel like that's really not even an important factor.
What?
Of what Marcellus was talking about, because that's irrelevant at this point.
Which part's irrelevant?
The part that he's talking about, the identity thing. Obviously,
I think it is. But tell me why you think.
Well, I don't think it is because, like I said, we wouldn't be sitting on this couch having this conversation and talking about everything if Colin Kaepernick didn't do something simple as get on the knee, something that nobody else had did in the NFL, something that nobody else did in the NBA.
Right.
He took a stance. Now, of course, like we said, I don't think he went into it with the mindset of I'm going to be like a Martin Luther King or anything like that. And he didn't. To this day, he's not a spokesperson per se. But the fact that Marcellus is bringing that out, what purpose does that actually serve? All that does is sound like you're just trying to get on Team Jay-Z and justify his NFL deal. My thing is this: let him have his NFL deal. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's really not hurting black people.
Right.
The whole thing is Jay-Z wouldn't be getting backlash if he wasn't pro Kaepernick. That's the whole reason that people are tripping.
But why can't we do? I always say, why can't we do two things at once, man? Because the sign of intelligence is to be able to hold
is to be able to do that. But with black people, point blank, black people are different.
We are not monoliths. We keep promoting the monolithic parts.
I'm not saying that. I just said that we're different based off of our struggle of what we actually went through.
We have trauma, so we can't trust shit. And that's the problem.
Okay, let me ask you this. We can't trust
I said we, so I get it.
Okay, no, let me ask you this.
I get it.
The fact, you know the reason why we don't trust shit? Yeah. Okay, so that, with all the stuff that has happened in the last 400, 500 years, we have the right to question every single thing.
We do have the right, and I think we should continue to
question. So my thing is,
just in case.
Yeah, that's true.
We have to.
So we can meet right there.
Yeah, we gotta press them.
As far as why can't we do both? We know the reason why we can't do both. And the reason why we can't do both is because we can't trust anything. Yeah. You're just, the thing is, black people always feel like we need somebody to either lead us or be a spokesperson for us or whatever like that. We felt like that since Marcus Garvey. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You familiar with him?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so the thing is, we always feel like it has to be somebody that just represents us. And Jay-Z and Beyonce have more power than Martin Luther King had in his heyday. The reason I say that is because hip hop, thing is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The youth, pushes the culture. Mm-hmm. So the thing is with Jay-Z, him being at the level that he is and was pro Kaepernick, like I said, if he wasn't as vocal as he was in his music and stuff like that, then we wouldn't be saying anything. I bet you $5 if Kanye West would have did the thing, we would have probably just fed him to the wolves. He a coon anyway.
But the difference between Kanye and Jay-Z.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I'm just saying. I just brought him up as an example.
Forethought. Kanye even promotes the idea.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I just brought that up. But Jay-Z was a big deal because of what he has done for us.
I can understand the optics.
Yeah,
for sure, 100%.
So
and optics are never going to be right. But even if you look at the fact, like you said, Cap is still trying to work for the NFL.
Yeah.
Right? So how can we say anything about Jay-Z working outside of that one thing, I'm with Cap, but technically, if Cap was still trying to work for the NFL, then that's not. And if his boy Eric Reed is still getting paid by the NFL,
yeah, he's talking stuff like that too.
Kaepernick is still getting paid by Nike, who is all of the NFL's uniforms.
That's true.
So if we want to be moral, we got to be moral, and all y'all are taking the quote unquote blood money in that.
In the bad, yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Those are facts. I think that the main thing that we have to realize as black people is we can't look for anybody to necessarily be a spokesperson for us, especially celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we salute Jay-Z and he represents us and stuff like that, as a, you know, from the hip hop culture, we can't expect him to be our savior or anything like that. And I think that this deal is very important for us to actually see that, because in my opinion, it's a lot of people that looked at him as like a god type, and this kind of brought him down, and that could help you so you could be focused on doing for self instead of thinking somebody has to do whatever, you know, to,
I agree with that.
Represent.
I always prefer to have people like him though in that position, because he's not a general celebrity. He's a true business person.
That's true.
And when it comes to getting stuff done,
yeah,
it's always the business people type that actually get stuff done.
That's true.
We like these people who have these conversations and they do panels, and like some of these people who are literally just celebrities because they talk about black rights.
Right.
But like when we're talking about getting the stuff done, it takes a lot of times true entrepreneur types. Right? I would say the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther King, but Elijah Muhammad's that's an entrepreneurial trait to be able to really gather on that level, but then to actually make this stuff happen from an economic standpoint, that like it's necessary to be able to have that, because at the end of the day it's gonna go back to the capitalism anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
It just is. That's just we can't get out of that system and play a different game.
Yeah, it's just to be foreseen right now, and like I said, I'm not bashing Jay-Z at all. Do I agree with his NFL deal? Not necessarily, but like you said, I got to see how everything pans out. But anyway, that's been the discussion. I know it's pretty lengthy of Red's View. Again, if you haven't got my album, Wants To is available everywhere, all digital streaming platforms.
Hey, check that out.
Check it out. Our concert went pretty good. For those who didn't get a chance to check it out, we're going to have another one, the Authentic Concert Series, in November. So be on the lookout for that. And subscribe to youtube.com/WeAuthenticNetwork. And you can find me at JAYR3D. Where can we find you?
Brandman Sean, baby. BRANDMANSEAN.
Thank you for joining me in this discussion, this heated debate. And this is Red's View. We signing out.
Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, don't give up, give up. Don't give up, you gon' be on. Don't give up, give up, give up, give up.
I know you got doubts, but get to the bag. Just follow the dream.